Today's episode is about why some HSPs give up on love. And if you're listening to this, my guess is you have not given up on love. And I'm really glad that you haven't. Really glad that you're here and that you're listening, because it means that even if you're mostly given up on love, if you're very frustrated with love, if you're like just about to be done, there's still some part of you that knows that this is something that you really, really want.
Welcome to Seeking True Love, a podcast for highly sensitive, intuitive, growth-oriented women who are tired of shrinking themselves to fit into someone else's version of love. I'm Elizabeth Rave, dating and relationship coach for highly sensitive women, lifelong romantic, and yes, I'm a highly sensitive woman myself. Maybe you've asked yourself, why is this so hard for me? Why does love feel overwhelming or just out of reach? This podcast is here to help you understand yourself more deeply, trust your intuition again, and approach love in a way that actually works for women like us. Because love isn't something you chase, it's not some fairy tale, and it's not something that you just find one day. It's something you become ready for, because your love story should be extraordinary.
You're just right for me, and I'm just right for you, and I'll take your heart and squeeze so softly, so sweetly, forever love.
I believe that you're here because you have a romantic stirring in your heart, a longing for something that is really meaningful. Here's the thing about women. We don't need a man anymore in 2025. I mean, historically, we used to need men for our very survival. We needed them to take care of us financially because we couldn't own property or make our own money. We needed security. We were really considered property. We needed men to have children. We don't even need that anymore. You can go to a sperm bank or a fertility clinic and become a single mom by choice. So today, we can do all of that stuff ourselves. And in order to decide that we want love anyway, that we want a partnership with a man or whoever, it's really a choice. Some people don't want that. It's okay to make the choice not to pursue it. And if you're here and you want that, it's a beautiful longing. It's something that I want, and it's something that I have. It's something that I decided, and there's no good reason for it. There's no good reason to want love. It is a longing of the heart. It is not a longing of the head. So if you're sitting there thinking, why do I still want this? Yeah, I've had that thought too. Usually at about 3 a.m. when I can't sleep, that's the thought that kept me up at night. I don't need this. Why do I want it so much? Don't try to figure it out. Don't try to answer that question logically. You're here because your heart wants something. What we're going to talk about in this episode is all of the reasons why some highly sensitive people give up on love. Before we get into that, let's again emphasize it's a valid choice to be single. So there's a difference between giving up on love and actually choosing the single life. And that can look different for different people. For some people, they just want to be completely single. They're content on their own. They like their own space. They like their own life. They like the choice that being single gives them. There's a lot of fun and freedom to the single life that you do sacrifice some of when you get into a relationship. That's something I've talked about in my episode on relationship readiness, how you need to actually grieve and mourn the single life and the perks that come with being single if you're going to get ready for a relationship. So to choose being single is a valid choice. It's valid for you. It's valid for some of the people you might meet, which is why it's so important that you don't want to try to convert anybody who says they like being single or they want more casual relationships into a more long-term relationship with you if that's what you want. If you want long-term relationship, look for other people who want long-term relationship. Some people choose to be completely single. Some people choose to have some more casual romantic love, but not center their life around being part of a couple. There are people who really want that person. I want to find my partner. I want to find my person. Does that sound like you? That's how I feel. But some people, they want certain aspects of romantic and sexual intimacy, but they don't want to center their life around another person. Romance is in their lives, but not central to their lives. That's okay too. So if that's you, great, totally fine. And if you really want that person, that life partner, and you've just given up on the idea that you can have one that works for you, I want to encourage you to not give up completely. Let's talk about why some people give up. And I think you know that I'm saying you shouldn't, because why would I have this podcast if I think anyone should give up on love, right? So here are some of the reasons why highly sensitive people give up on love. There are certain unique challenges that we face because we are so sensitive emotionally as well as physically. One of the main things is we're pretty comfortable in a single life. We like our own space, we like our own things, we like our routines, and we like things the way they are. Having someone else disrupt that can be overwhelming and can be something that will unconsciously push away, even if we really want a connection with another person. Another reason why a highly sensitive person might give up on love is that heartbreak goes so deep for us, it can just feel like it's so hard to get over someone. We process our emotions deeply and intensely. Those heartbreak traumas can live in our body long after somebody with a less sensitive nervous system would have gotten over it and moved on. So it's hard, especially when you start comparing yourself. Why is it taking me so long to get over this? Why do I still feel so sad, so heartbroken, so scared to get out there again when I should be over this by now? And then that self-judgment just perpetuates the cycle and makes it worse. You're not broken for feeling deeply. This is how you're built. And these things are going to live in your body and live in your heart very deeply. Highly sensitive people can lose trust after they've been hurt. What happens is we fall so deeply that sometimes we can overlook those red flags or not trust ourselves even when our intuition is telling us that something is off. This is even worse if we've already learned to judge our own intuitions and our own sensitivities. Like if we judge ourselves for being too sensitive, that will naturally spill over into judging ourselves for making a big deal out of something that maybe shouldn't be such a big deal, when actually what you were noticing was a red flag that should have had you running the other way. But you didn't pay attention when it was small and then it got worse. Like maybe you had a sense that somebody was going to cheat on you, but you ignored that intuition and then later you found out that they were cheating. This is a way that we can kind of gaslight ourselves because we actually have a strong intuition, but if we don't trust our intuition because we judge ourselves as being too sensitive, then we'll just lose that trust completely. We say I can't trust other people, but it's really a loss of trust in the self. By learning to trust yourself again, you can trust your ability to gauge whether or not a relationship is working. Another reason why we give up on love is it's just so overwhelming. This was a big one for me. I got so overwhelmed in my romantic relationships that even when things were going well, my nervous system was still dysregulated. You know that beginning of a relationship, the honeymoon phase, where you're just over the moon in love and everything feels so good, except does it really feel good? For me, the beginning of a relationship is very passionate and can be fun and exciting. And wow, is it dysregulating? Like digestive issues, insomnia, sleep disruption, can't stop thinking about someone so I can't concentrate. It's so disruptive to my actual life that while most people are sad when the honeymoon phase ends, I actually feel relieved when it's over and I can settle into a more stable relationship with somebody. Like, oh man, thank goodness I'm off of that roller coaster. This is actually one of the main reasons why I unconsciously pushed away reciprocal love for a long time. I was less afraid of heartbreak and I was more afraid of just the consistent dysregulation because you can be in conflict and you can be in passion. Both of those things can be so overwhelming. We crave peace. And sometimes the only way we feel like we can get it is just by being alone. So we unconsciously push away love and we give up that we're ever going to have something that feels good because even the best relationships can be so stressful. But I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be that way. And my own journey of finding true love was to stop chasing the intense passion that I saw in Hollywood movies and instead look for something that actually felt good to my nervous system. This looked like a relationship that was quieter. There still is a lot of love and passion between us, and it feels good. It's peaceful. It's peaceful and passionate in all the right ways. there's euphoria, and there's groundedness. It's really something that feels good, and it's something that I didn't know I could have because I just assumed I would always be on some roller coaster of the highs and lows of love. It's really nice to find that sweet spot in the middle. Highly sensitive people also give up on love because they think they're just not cut out for modern dating. This can be as simple as not finding environments where you can really thrive. If you think that you have to go out to bars or parties or loud restaurants just to meet people or go on dates, and you don't like those places because you find them overwhelming, that by itself could make somebody give up on love just because they're like, how am I going to date? I can't even go on a date without it being uncomfortable. But of course, you don't have to go to those places. You can meet in all kinds of ways. This is where modern dating tools like apps actually come in quite handy. You can meet someone in the comfort of your own home. Along these lines, trying to force yourself into environments that don't work for you will not work for you. This is actually one of the 5 mistakes that I detail out in my free PDF that I offer in my newsletter, 5 dating mistakes that every highly sensitive woman should avoid. And the link on how you can get that is in the show note. One of the biggest reasons why highly sensitive people avoid dating is a fear that they're not going to find someone who understands them or will want to form a relationship with them that actually works for them. I'm going to give you an example of this. One of the things that my current partner shared with me is that for a long time, he believed that he was never going to be able to have a long-term relationship because he didn't want to sleep in the same bed as someone. He just doesn't sleep very well. It made me laugh when he said that because that is the expectation, isn't it? Like, think about it. The expectation is that if you're going to be in a long-term relationship with someone, eventually you have to move in with them. Eventually, you're going to sleep in the same bed. People even talk about separate bedrooms as like this death sentence of a marriage. Like, they're about to get divorced because they moved into separate bedrooms. So what does that say about somebody who wants to have separate bedrooms the whole time? Well, I don't know what you think it means, but I'll tell you what it means to me because I also enjoy having a separate bedroom. And what it means to me is that my partner and I both value each other's sensitivity and need for good sleep, which is something that highly sensitive people need in particular, right? We really need a good night's sleep and some good meals. Very important. So what do you need to do to make sure that your relationship is going to honor your self-care, not disrupt it? Because this is one of the main reasons why highly sensitive people will give up on love. I mean, what do all these things have in common? The thing they have in common is some kind of fear that somehow you are going to have to enter into a level of discomfort that's going to be so overwhelming, it's not worth it, right? Now, relationships have their share of conflict. There's going to be times where a relationship is going to challenge you in ways that you won't be challenged if you stay single. And that is unavoidable. But that doesn't mean you have to twist yourself into a relationship that makes you so uncomfortable, it's not worth it. And it doesn't mean you have to give up on your self-care or on something that feels good to you so much so just because, I'm so in love with them, it's worth it. Because real love isn't about giving up on yourself. It's about finding yourself and finding someone who's going to honor you and you honor them. I would encourage you to let go of the traditional relationship escalator. The traditional relationship escalator is something that says, this is what love looks like. Love looks like 2 people who get together. Eventually, they will move in together. Eventually, they will get married. And, depending on where they are in life, eventually they will have children. It could also look like more specific things, like things I said about sleeping together in the same bedroom, but also things like they spend every weekend together. They call each other and talk every day. They always want to spend time together. They're always so happy to be together. Just whatever expectations or rules that may have been put on you, instead of giving up on love, give up on a script about love that doesn't honor who you are and what you really need. In Dr. Elaine Aron's book, The Highly Sensitive Person in Love, she actually talks about and gives examples of relationships between highly sensitive people where they defined different terms of their relationship. For example, relationships where they don't spend time together every day, where they decided that they were never going to move in together, and that's okay. The most aligned love is the one that fits you, not the one that fits some convention or some idea of love that you think you should have. So don't give up on love. Give up on outdated irrelevant ideas about love and instead think about and create what partnership really works for you. This is the core of the work that I do with my clients, is we figure out what it is that's going to work for you. You might think, oh, I could never have that. But I'll tell you what, it's actually so much easier to find the thing that works for you than it is to try to fit yourself into somebody else's mold, because you become your most attractive when you are your most comfortable and happy and genuinely feeling good. This is what I want to leave you with. You can redefine love on your terms, and you can create a relationship that actually feels truly good to your nervous system. There's a reason why you're still here. There's a reason why you're listening to this podcast episode right now. You can't meditate or self-love your way out of this heart's desire. This is what you want. You want love. And there's no amount of self-love, spiritual love, or love for friends and family that replaces the deep yearning for romantic love, because they're not the same thing. And if this is what you want, honor this part of your heart, because especially you, as someone who feels very deeply, this want isn't going to go away, and you are not going to be able to repress it or find some substitute for it. It just doesn't work. Trust me, I tried for years, only to realize that the only way out is through. The only way forward was to really embrace my deeply romantic heart and to follow it. And that's what I want for you. So don't give up on love. Follow your heart. If you'd like to explore what true love could look like for you in a way that honors your sensitivity and your soul, I'd love to talk. You can book a free discovery call with me through the link in the show notes. Remember, you don't need to justify your desire for love. It's sacred. It lives inside of you, and your love story should be extraordinary.